You don't need me to tell you that this NFL offseason has been insane so far, and it just got crazier. The Dolphins have just traded for star wide receiver Tyreek Hill from the Kansas City Chiefs. This is great for Tua Tagovailoa because it gives them another elite weapon to throw to. But this trade for Tyreek Hill could also end up becoming Tua's worst nightmare. What's going on there, guys? Darren here from 610 Football. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for some of the best football content out on YouTube. On the surface, this trade for Tyreek Hill may have seemed like it developed over the course of a couple of hours, but in reality, this was in the works for at least a week. The Chiefs were working tirelessly to try and extend Hill, but then a couple of key dominoes fell into place that allowed for Tyreek Hill to seek a trade. Firstly, Christian Kirk signed his massive contract with the Jaguars. If someone like Kirk can get $72 million and never have a 1,000-yard season, then there are going to be wide receivers who are a lot better than Kirk asking for ludicrous amounts of money. Then Davante Adams wound up getting traded to the Raiders after being franchise tagged. Adams and the Packers were unable to get a long-term deal done that would have made him the highest paid receiver in the league. So Adams went to a team that would give him that luxury. Tay ended up signing a 5-year deal with Vegas, giving him $140 million total, including $65.67 million in guarantees and an AAV of $28 million, topping that of DeAndre Hopkins and setting a new bar for Hill to now top. This was a super steep price for the Chiefs to pay, in large part since they gave Patrick Mahomes that super mega extension a couple of off seasons ago. So since they couldn't pay Hill, the only logical answer was to trade him, since the Chiefs couldn't afford to pay two players over $30 million each. And from the first report of Hill being put on the trade block, there were only two teams that were considered legit contenders to get Tyreek: the Jets and the Dolphins. The Jets actually had a deal in place the day prior to trade for Hill, and if the Jets were able to pull this trade off, it would have been a steal. New York was ready to offer 2 seconds, number 35 and 38, and a third, number 69, from this year's draft in exchange for Hill and a third-round compensatory pick, number 106. Are you kidding me? Do you know how much of a steal that is? I understand the Jets still would have had to pay Tyreek a massive amount of money, but A, it's Tyreek Hill, and B, you would not have had to give up either of your first round picks from this year or your first round pick next year. This would have been the steal of the century had this trade gone through. And the crazy part is, the Chiefs actually agreed to it, but Tyreek didn't want to play for the Jets. Ooh, so close. So the next day, the Dolphins swooped in and was able to land the cheetah, but they had to pay a pretty penny to do so. The official trade that ended up happening was Miami's first, second, and fourth this year, the former two both being top 50 picks, along with a couple of mid-late round picks next year in exchange for Hill. And it makes sense why Tyreek would want to go to Miami. Better place to live, better team there. He also lives there during the offseason and does a ton of training down there already. But the wildest part about this is that the first round pick the Dolphins gave up for Hill can be traced all the way back to the Laramie Tunsil trade. First off, the Dolphins getting Tunsil in the first place was already a steal. He was projected to go top 5, but after the video of him in a bong gas mask leaked, he fell all the way to 13th where the Dolphins got him. Then just 3 years later, Miami sent him over to Houston for their first in the 2020 and 2021 draft, along with a second in the 2021 draft. Well, that 2020 first round pick ended up going to the Packers, who used it to draft Jordan Love. But before the 2021 draft, the Dolphins ended up making a trade with the 49ers, where San Fran would move up to number 3, which was Houston's pick, and Miami would get the Niners first for 2021, 22, and 23, along with the third in 22. Now stick with me because I know this is getting confusing. But the Dolphins then trade that first round pick they got from the Niners to move back up to number 6 to get Jalen Waddle. But the 22 pick from the Niners ended up becoming the one they trade to the Chiefs for Tyreek Hill. Whew. So all in all, the Dolphins were essentially able to trade Laramie Tunsil for Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Javon Holland, who was the 2021 second round pick they got from the Texans, and a couple of other depth players. Not to mention the mid-round picks they still have this year and the extra first-round pick they have next year from the trades. Talk about a Chris Grier masterclass. Once the Dolphins traded for Hill, it became evidently clear what Grier and new head coach Mike McDaniel were planning on doing, surrounding Tua with as much talent as possible. The team already has stars in Jalen Waddle and Mike Gesicki, along with a pretty good defense, but Miami knew they needed more, so the Finns went out and got a couple of upgrades. They were able to bolster the left side of their line, signing Connor Williams and Teron Armstead. They also got some much needed help in the running game, signing former 49ers running back Raheem Mostert. Plus, they added another good wide receiver in Cedric Williams. And we have seen this exact same roster building technique before, and coincidentally, Mike McDaniel was on the team that did it, the San Francisco 49ers. San Fran knew that Jimmy Garoppolo was a pretty quarterback, so they surrounded him with an outstanding running game, an elite defense, and explosive weapons, which is exactly what the Dolphins are doing here with Tua. Tua having a superstar team around him could be one of the best things that could happen to him, but it could also end up being one of the worst things. With a team like this, everything is in place, it all just relies on the QB to play good football. The Dolphins are essentially putting the faith of their entire season on the shoulders, or arm I guess, of Tua Tagovailoa. If he can step his game up and play like the number 5 overall pick they are expecting him to play like, then this Dolphins team is going to be extremely hard to stop. But if he is still unable to take the next step with not only a great team on the field, but on the sideline with them, then he is bound to be moved on from for 2023. And that isn't a horrible thing. You know that he is going to draw trade value from someone, probably the Colts, to continue their streak of bridge quarterbacks, but Miami still has an extra first round pick next year they can either use to draft a QB or possibly even trade for him. Maybe Kyler Murray, depending on how badly Cliff Kingsbury chokes away this season. So that's it for today's video. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button. We just hit 400 subscribers and I'm super appreciative of every single one of you guys, and I hope we can continue to grow this channel. Also, make sure you check out all my other social media links listed down in the description below. I have an Instagram, a TikTok, and a Twitter. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic day.